Hey, Jason Phillips from Auto Appraise. How you doing today? I'm doing a pre-purchase inspection on a 1984 Avanti II. We're down in Indiana today. We're darn near Indiana, let's just say there. Since I'm pointing at wheels, let's start there. We got an original set of 15-inch aluminum honeycomb style wheels with Avanti caps. The tires up front are worn out and need to be replaced. A little bit of negative camber effect on the right side. The rear tires are in a little better shape. They're a little later purchase. We just got caught in a huge downpour, so we'll do a quick outside. The reflective quality in many spots on the car is nice. There's been some repaint work, and the repaint work was done with the benefit of not removing some of the original seals and glass, etc. And that being said, the paint's getting pretty old on the car. The top surfaces are single stage and they're well oxidized. They've been exposed to just some heat and wear over the years. So a good chance that the car would be slated as a 20-footer in its current condition. Lots of small nicks, chips, and touch-ups that have been collected over the years of general driving. Again, the car has a nice presence from a distance if you're not up close picking apart all of the rock chips and scratches. Someone was trying to climb up on this car and get up on that hood, so there's some what I call cat finger scratches, cat claw scratches on the upper surrounds. I don't want to spend too much time going over the paint because as a general rule that is kind of what it looks like throughout the body of the car, and by most standards, if you'd either be looking to drive and enjoy a 20-foot car or you'd be considering repainting this one. Bumpers physically are in good shape with the with a few heat shrink and checking marks. Glass in the car is all in good shape. Nothing's broken. A little wiper swipe on the windshield, but no major rock chips noted. Underneath the car, let's kind of go through it since I've still got it jacked up. Evidence of original suspension here. Some deterioration and dry cracking in original bushings. This right front sway bar mount is broken. On our lower front support, we've got this is a separate frame from body type setup. It's not a unitized setup. We've got a couple hook marks here where this may have been pulled ahead or locked down to do a pull on, possibly from some previous repair work. One of the remnants of that is that the steering stabilizer is setting a little high and making contact with that pulley. I think that could be remedied in a couple different ways without doing any major pull or structural work there. Up inside the front end of the vehicle, these bodies were made with a, I think it was called SMC, was the composite, kind of like a fiberglass resin-based material. Up here on both sides, there was a repair done to the front end, and this component still shows the gray background original color, and the sound deadener still present up there, sprayed inside the wheel tubs. We see that on both sides, which is a likely possibility that there was a nose either clipped on this car at some point a long time ago or some repair work done. We got older hoses and fuel lines. All of those components have not been serviced. They are OEM original and would benefit from some service work. Bottom of the core support's in real good shape. Doesn't really look like it's sustained any collision damage unless it was changed out a long time ago. And the frame rails still look real good up here at the front end extensions. So hard to tell 30-ish years later, what was going on. The rest of the underbody is very solid and stable. All the mounts, all the gussets coming off the frame. I'm looking at these, here, I'll give you a better view there. All the pads between the gussets and the body are in good shape. There's really no sign of stress or physical damage. That one's got a little bend from probably getting jacked up or hoisted improperly, but nothing horrific. Underneath the body, the frame is in a good stout condition, unrestored. A little bit of mud or nesting or a combination of both perhaps. A little bit of seepage from the transpan and the rear main seal. Rear axle, there's some stains on the exhaust where the rear axle seals are no doubt original and making way for some fluid to pass through rather. So we just got a little bit of a break from the rain, so I pulled it back outside to get a little better look at the car. It's got a power trunk release in the back that's not currently hooked up, but it's there. We see it. The trunk does have a spare inside. Got a little bit of, got some neighbors that have spent some time back here, but the trunk itself is in good shape, no real physical damage. Could use some carpet touch-ups and whatnot. Let's jump under the hood. Car set up with a 305 Chevy. I'm going to talk fast because it feels like we're going to get rain again. Interestingly enough, up here in the front end, it really doesn't have the appearance of any obvious collision damage and or repair from under the hood. So there is a possibility that these front ends are just set up the way that I have showed you recently. It doesn't seem that would be the case, but who knows? Somebody could have done some nice repair work here and blended off some tape lines, and it's hard to see right now because it's not super clean. Engine valve covers are, seeping a little bit of oil, a little bit of rodent debris gathered. Got a later model GM HEI distributor, of course, because it's a 80s motor. Oil's full and up to level. Antifreeze is full and green. The tranny stick shows maybe a pint down, and the tranny fluid smells a little dark and older, and probably could stand to be changed. The car only has 47,000 miles, and based on the interior condition, I would say that is believable. Some dirt and wear could be cleaned up on this driver's door panel some. The power lock switches both work. Original Avanti nameplate. The driver's seat has a typical amount of seat bolster entry wear. These bolsters stick way out there, so of course they're going to get worn down. But the material itself is largely original. These bolsters work mechanically. Got a knob plate missing on this one. None of these switches work on either one of the seats. The good news is that the power windows work, that the air vents all flip open and closed as they should. Have a crack in the Prindle bezel. Avanti gauges showing 47,578 on the clock. All the gauges appear to be working. Because of that rubbing front end component, we're not going to drive the car today. We got some lifting on the dash and these A-pillar seals, these A-pillar covers rather. I can't really get you a good light on that. These are pretty worn. The headliner's got some droopy and saggy. Droopy and saggy. Sounds like a cartoon, eh? So we went through and kind of detailed and highlighted for the potential purchaser some of the obvious notes about the interior that he can freeze frame and take a look at these when he's watching the video. And this kind of points out some of the obvious concerns. There's a little more of that in the glove box. Carpets could probably be cleaned up in here. Pedals don't indicate 147,000 miles, do they? This seat setup is a little bit loose, a little looser than the passenger side, probably because it got most of the wear. A few small cuts in the leather slash pleather vinyl seating material surfaces. But other than that, the interior shows nice. All three courtesy lights work. Just got a general level of some wear. The seats are still really comfortable. It's unique. It's got a trunk key for the ignition key to start it, and it works. Horn works, radio works. Headlights all work. Tack operates. You can see the temp has not come up yet. We just kind of pulled it out of the garage for a cold start. It was started prior to my getting here, but didn't seem like it'd run for very long. Probably holding, oops, there we go. Probably holding about 15, 20 pounds of oil pressure. Well, I guess what? That's not oil pressure. I was looking over here. All right, say something smart, Jason. About 35 pounds of oil pressure. And that's volts. We be charging. Gas gauge seems to be working. Actually, my voltmeter's over here. My amp meter's down there. Okay, enough of that. Stereo works. Power antenna works. Doesn't quite go down. It stays up a couple inches. Horn works. Wipers sweep. Blower controls function. Air is not blowing cold. Rubber seals are all original throughout the car. Got a little bit of nesting going on down there. Exhaust sounds pretty good. Maybe a little bit of leaking going on in the back. A little bit of condensation today, but no evidence of black or blue smoke that can be detected. I do detect a slight miss in the engine. Again, more touch-ups and chips, some rock chips all along the nose here. Jason Phillips from Appraise. I'm wrapping up a pre-purchase inspection for an out-of-state client, giving him everything by video that we can, except for a test drive today due to some worn components that we don't want to take a risk on metal to metal, throwing sparks and such, so we're not going to do that. But the car does back in and out of the garage with no problem. It is reported to drive down the road good. I don't really hear that steering stabilizer shock rubbing on the harmonic balancer, but can see that it's happened in the past. So, as always, if you need an inspection like this, we got 300 guys around the country that can go out and look a car over and describe it, put it in a report. I shoot videos, not everybody does that. If you need that type of service, give us a call, 800-301-3886. Thanks a bunch. Plate indicates the car spent some time in Florida. It's a good looking car, sexy. With some refurbishment work, it would no doubt be a fun cruiser. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a great day.